Okay, welcome back to the Spiritual Recalibration Series. Thank you for embarking on this series and opening yourself to a new way of being. My name is David, and this is Session 7, Stillness. Find a comfortable seat in a space where you can allow yourself 20 minutes or so undistracted to focus just on you. A quick reminder, to get the most out of this series, please be sure you've listened to the welcome session, Session 0. Here we go. I think we've actually maybe even touched on stillness before. But I don't know if it was a couple Sundays ago, I think. On Sunday morning, I make it a habit to do a nice long yoga and meditation practice without any time constraints. So Sunday morning is kind of my time to do that. That happens sometimes on other days as well, but oftentimes on other days of the week, there's a certain time at which I need to stop and do other things throughout the day, family things, professional things, that sort of thing. But Sundays I allow to just go until I want to stop. And so I was doing that, and then I was in meditation. I was sitting, and I heard some rumbling around where I sit. There's a bathroom just on the other side of the door, and my wife was in there cleaning. And she started, there was knocking around and there was running water and that sort of thing. And so I noticed, a little bit of why, this is the time, this is the one day a week, why so I watched myself kind of create this story, and this little drama began to unfold. Thankfully, I wasn't terribly invested in it. So sometimes I do invest in that, just for the record, that drama. But I didn't this time. I remembered that her parents were actually coming over. Her parents' hot water had gone out, so they were actually coming over to use the bathroom and shower and do all that stuff. So she was just cleaning it to prepare for that. So that was happening. But still the ruckus over there was not what I was. I was not wanting that at that time. So I said, okay, what can I do differently here? So I got up and I got dressed and I went out for a morning walk. It was cold. And it turned out to be excellent. I was walking, and I do this one particular loop in my neighborhood. And so I know the loop well. And for some reason, my attention was drawn over to this cluster of trees. And there was nothing special about these trees. They're not particularly beautiful or the tallest ones in the neighborhood, or they didn't have any wonderful leaves on them. My attention was drawn to them. And I stopped and I paused and I looked at them, and then I didn't keep walking. And I just, for some reason, I found myself standing there, just taking in this particular cluster of trees. There was just a nondescript house nearby it, and it felt still, is the point. Everything felt still. And so I noticed that, which I was so grateful for. And I chose to allow myself to experience whatever that was, just in these natural structures, these tall trees, that I was somehow sharing in their stillness. And I enjoyed that. And the reason why I bring up this particular story is because it seems that the natural world is our place to tune into stillness, because as human beings, stillness is elusive. We're movers and shakers, we're doers, just, with our body and with our mind. And even when we try to choose to be still, we still have our mind, which is, this is, kind of the difference this is what it is to be a human. And I was listening to a sample of an audiobook just the other day, and he was talking about his bird feeder. So he has a bird feeder, and he puts it out, and sometimes he forgets to put feed in there. So sometimes birds come, and when there's feed in there, they eat, and when there's no food in there, when he forgets, they go somewhere else. And he found himself, and so he wondered, do the birds know? Do the birds visit the feeder and not see any food where there was food before and think, I wonder if it was something I did? I wonder if I did something to make him not put the other food out. Well, no. His hypothesis was that no, the birds noticed there was no food, so they flew on and found food elsewhere, with not a second thought to why there wasn't food. But to be a human, we create stories, and we get invested in those stories, and that's the nature of our mind, and that's fine, and that's good. And but it's not like being a bird, like that little story I almost, I noticed come up with, I was in meditating, and my wife came to clean the bathroom. So the natural world gives us an example, I guess. Now, I'm going to throw myself under the bus here a little bit. You can imagine, I have teenage daughters, and I think that they worry when we go out for walks in the woods, because every now and then I will follow the impulse to hug a tree. Sometimes I'll just place my hand on there. But every now and then I just feel like I need to give this tree a hug. Now, if you're giggling, just try it sometime. Maybe try it when no one's watching if you feel self-conscious. But, the idea of hugging a tree. But whether you hug it or just place your hand on it, allowing yourself to experience that tree has no stories. That tree is not wondering about anything, or worrying about anything, or thinking ahead, or thinking to the past. So, and I know we spend a lot of time with meditation, and, realizing the benefits of reduced stress and improved health and better relationships, and generally happier, and smiles coming easier. And that's all the wonderful benefits of a meditation practice. And beyond that, if you're curious, if you're not, that's okay. But if you're curious, there's a Paramahansa Yogananda said that stillness is the altar of spirit. So there's that. All right, so let's go into a short practice here. Place your feet flat on the ground, sitting nice and upright, drawing the shoulder blades together gently. Placing the hands, palms up or palms down, your choice, on the thighs, at the juncture of thighs and abdomen, or a little bit further forward, if that's more comfortable for you. Having the eyes closed gently, eyes soft behind the eyelids. And tune into these words of this affirmative statement. My natural state is still and serene. I tap into my stillness at will, for I am stillness. A few more times. My natural state is still and serene. I tap into my stillness at will, for I am stillness. My natural state is still and serene. I tap into my stillness at will, for I am stillness. Now, if you've begun to memorize the statement, you can allow yourself to say it out loud in a regular speaking voice or just in a whisper. My natural state is still and serene. I tap into my stillness at will, for I am stillness. My natural state is still and serene. I tap into my stillness at will, for I am stillness. And now, if you were saying out loud, just in your mind, my natural state is still and serene. I tap into my stillness at will, for I am stillness. Allow those words to flow through your mind for just a few moments. Allow the feeling behind the words, still, stillness. And you can let the statement go. Tuning into your breath, beginning to watch your breath for just a few moments, seeing if you can find the place in your nostrils where you can feel the air passing. Good. If you notice the mind wander, you can bring it back to your breath. The watching of the breath is the meditation technique. That is the concentration technique. And at some point, with the practice of a meditation technique, to experience stillness, at some point we let the technique go and then allow yourself to experience whatever there is to experience as a result of practicing. So now, take an inhale through your nose and a gentle exhale through your mouth. You don't have to watch your breath anymore. For just a few more moments, draw your gaze behind closed eyelids, gently upward to the point between your eyebrows. And allow yourself sitting on a dock that extends just a little bit out into a lake, a broad lake, a big lake, on a warm day with a clear blue sky and a warm sun up ahead, up above. Reach this lake as far out to the right as you can imagine, as far out in front of you as you can imagine, and as far out to the left as you can imagine. On those On this lake, there might be some ripples, these fluctuations of the mind. Allow your inherent stillness to flatten out those ripples so that the lake is completely still, clear as glass. Any little ripple that shows up, you know, can be instantly flattened with your stillness. And you can always look to the sun. Allow the sun to help up above. Allow yourself to experience this clear, clean, smooth stillness. And now, I'd invite you to take an inhale through your nose and an exhale through your nose. Prepare to come back to the room where you are. When you're welcome to stay here for as long as you like. And when you're ready, you can flutter open your eyelids.